All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for coming. My name's Taylor with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going over designs and how to create social designs is going to be the category that we stick to today. We're going to create an email signature, and I'll show you guys how to also add that to your KW account or a Gmail account if you use a different Gmail account than a KW. And then we'll also go through and actually create a social post, and I'll show you guys how to create that campaign. Feel free as we go to throw any questions you have in the chat. I'm going to do my best to watch for those as we go, answer them. I'm also going to put our email address in the chat for you. So if you have questions that are specific to something you're experiencing, or if you have a question that I may miss in the chat, you can always reach out to our support team and they'll be happy to answer your questions. You can also check out the recording for any of our classes on our YouTube channel. You can search by topic, find the most recent one. You can also reach out to our support team to ask for that recording if you don't want to search our YouTube channel for it. First thing we're going to do is get logged into Command. So if you're following along, you'll want to go to agent.kw.com and enter your Command username and password. I'll zoom in just a little bit so it's easier to see. All right. So once you're logged in, we're going to go to Designs, which is the icon that looks like it has a little paintbrush in it. You can also click on the KW in the upper left-hand corner. If you're not familiar yet with the icon names, that pops out the menu so you can see those. And then once you select designs, this is going to be your main designs dashboard. This is going to look different for everyone. If you've already worked in designs to create something, you'll see that copy here. If you haven't yet, this is likely blank. And then depending on the size of the screen you're looking at, you'll have create design in the upper right-hand corner, or in the bottom right-hand corner, you may see a plus sign with this same color. We're going to create design. And then, like I said, we're going to stick to social for today. We do have additional classes on these other ones. If we have time, I'll show you guys how to create a neighborhood video, because those can be added to a social post. And once you hit next, that's going to take you into the WeBrand editor, where all of these templates are. You have different categories with subcategories. The first thing that we recommend, if you haven't done it yet already, is going to your assets menu here in the upper menu. These are going to be your frequently used items. So uploading them here will make it so that you don't have to manually type in all of your information or manually upload your headshot on every single design that you create. You'll have a Keller Williams Realty one here. And you'll notice there's stuff already loaded. And this is stuff that KW has already uploaded for you. You have a ton of options when it comes to stock photos as well. These are preloaded, so they're free. You don't have to pay extra. There are stock photos in the system that you can use, and when we get to the social post, I'll show you guys how to do that as well. But some of those will require an upgraded account so that you can pay for them. But these ones will be free because KW already did that for you. Text, you have the ownership statement. Most of the design templates already have this associated with it somewhere on the design, but it's here in case you need it. Logos, they have already loaded some generic KW logos or miscellaneous logos. So you have all of these options. Icons. And then these files are more for you. You wouldn't necessarily put these on something to create for a client, but they are loaded for you already. But then we go to My Assets. If you're on a team, you may also have a third option in here with Team Assets. So your team logo, team name, any of those kinds of things. And those would be created and shared with you by the rainmaker of your team. So you may see that as well. But under My Assets, here you have the option to add all of these as well. So if you use a different color palette on all of your marketing than the KW one, you can add that here. Images, this is where we recommend uploading your headshot. And you just upload image, and then you select where you want to upload your image from, or you can drag and drop if you have it saved somewhere on your computer. Text boxes. This is where we recommend putting all of your information and the office information that you include on pretty much all of your marketing for compliance. You simply add a text box. They already have some that are labeled, so you can easily find that. Or at the very bottom, you have other, and you can label it and then enter the text, whatever you want it to say. Logos. So this is where we recommend uploading all of your available office logos. If you have your own branded logo or a generic KW logo that you want to use, you can upload all of those here. Same things as up above with icons. If you have a video that you include a lot on all of your marketing, you can add that here. Or files. If you have any type of file that you need to include, you can add that here as well. But images, text, and logos are the main sections here. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to go back to templates. And under business basics, that's where you're going to find email signatures. So we're going to select that. And there are two options here. So whichever one you want to use, you just hover over it and then hit use. And then that's going to take you into the actual editor here. Wait for that to load. Otherwise, it may break. All right. Now we're just going to go through and start editing all of the information on here. I'm going to select the office logo in the corner. And then on the left-hand side, you'll notice that switched us over here to logos. Now, if I click on one of these randomly, it's going to create a new box that I can then move around and edit. Or if I want to keep everything where it's at, you can replace. And then adjust as needed. Let's say I also need to add a team logo. We just click on that, add it, and adjust where we need it. Now here we have a couple options when it comes to text. You can double click and manually just type that in. There is a typewriter function over here. And that pops open a text box on the side so that you can make your edits, save changes, and then that updates here. Or, show you guys. If we go on the left-hand side to text, there's add. So if you need a new text box, you can just click on one of these, and just like with our photo, looks like it's actually replacing because we have a text box selected. So must be a new function. Never seen that before. That's pretty cool. Anyway, you can add text boxes if you need them. You do have images here under text if you need one of those. Workspace, that's the asset section that KW loaded. So in all of these options, you'll have a workspace section or my assets, and that's where your texts will be, where you can replace. And then whatever's in this text box is what it's going to replace it with. Now notice this text box already has text in it, license number. But if I came over here, I don't actually have my license number saved, so we're going to pretend this phone number is it. If I replace that text, it's going to replace everything that's already in it. So it doesn't have that license number label anymore. So this may be one of the cases where you manually open this up and type in your number. There's a question in the chat. If I'm a new agent, what's the best way to acquire my DBA logo? That's a great question. So you can always reach out to us. We have one for your office on file. But if you want all of the options with different transparencies, different color schemes, you can go to mykw.kw.com. And then in the menu at the top is a marketing section. Then logos and branding is right here first. Scroll down a little bit and you have Market Center logos. You can search by your office number or by name if you know it. Number is more precise. And then you can download the whole file. And then once I get that to open, So now within each of these files, you have PNG versions of all of your logos. So gray text, black text, white text, some with red, different transparencies. So you can drag and drop all of these into those assets section so that you have them. So if you're having difficulty doing that, reach out to our support team. I can put the email in the chat again, and we can take a look and see what may be happening. If you don't know what market center number you're with, that might be part of the issue. Because like I said, the market center number is more precise, but it could also be just something that is going on with the website. So yeah, our support team can definitely help you with that. All right, so coming back to our design, we're going to replace our photo. So just like we did with logos, we're going to select the image, come over here under images, going to my assets. Sorry, there's a question in the chat that I'm not, Julie says, why does the template designs take me to designer software? That sounds like you might be getting an error. And for that, I would recommend, since we're not experiencing the same thing, I would recommend emailing our support team with a screenshot of what you're experiencing. There's a couple things without me looking at the error and knowing what it looks like. If you're brand new, we've seen that it can take up to 2 weeks for the system to fully launch for you. So if you're very new, the system could just need to go through that time frame to push through your full setup on the back end. Or if you're using a web browser that is less supported, it could just be that the system doesn't work well with that web browser. So we recommend either Google Chrome or Firefox. Those are the two that we've seen have less errors with the full KW system. All right, so selecting our photo here in our template, we're going to replace. Again, we went to images and my assets because we've already uploaded this. If you haven't, you can always upload it here, add image under my assets, or you can just manually drag and drop it right here on add, but you'll have to do that every time, most likely, on any design you make. And then I'm going to reposition this because I don't want my head cut off. Now going back to text, just like with our license number, if we came over here and replaced the text with what's in our assets, it's going to take away formatting, both options, all of that. So this is another box where we want to come in here and manually update these. And then same thing with our office address. I have this saved under my assets, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to replace that text, but notice that's just the street address because I have 2 different text boxes. So I could manually update this, or I can replace the text and then duplicate the box. So basically copy and paste it, which is right over here. And then replace that text as well. So there's a couple options just to get this the way you want it. Same thing, your email is in here. Going to replace that text. And then we have a text box with website and app code. So you can, just like this, you can edit that information multiple ways. You have your app code saved. You can throw that in there and then edit the text. However you want that laid out. And once you're satisfied with how this looks, and you're ready to add this to your email, the next thing you want to do is download. And we're going to download as a PNG. Download. All right, we have our PNG here. Now the next step is not required. However, if you were to take this download, this image that you just made, and add it straight into the settings of your Gmail account, your signature will show up when you're on a like a desktop or a laptop. But if you're trying to reply or create emails from your mobile device, the image isn't going to show up. It's still going to either be blank or it's just going to have a text, like your name typed out. And what we found is hosting it on an image hosting site. The one we use is IMGUR. If you host it first and then use that downloaded image, it will appear both on desktop and mobile. I almost said desktop and laptop. That's the same thing. There was a question in the chat. Is there a way to save it so that the links are clickable? Not using the design template within Command. So these are just designed to be downloaded as images rather than clickable pieces. So that's something totally different. If you have questions, reach out to our support team. But we have not found a way just using what's available here to do that. All right, so once we have our download, we're going to go to IMGUR. You shouldn't need a login if you don't want to. And if you go to imgur.com and then new post in the upper left-hand corner, now you'll be able to drag and drop that image that we just made. Upload complete. And now we're going to download the post. Got our IMGUR PNG. Then we're going to log in to our KW email. I'll give you guys a second to catch up. I know I'm already logged in, so just in case you're following along, I'm going to pause here for a moment. All right, so once you're logged in, we're gonna go into settings. It's in the upper right-hand corner. It's kind of this little gear icon. And then see all settings. And we're gonna scroll down. I'm gonna delete mine so it looks like yours. A lot of people scroll all the way down and think that this box is where your signature goes. This is actually like an autoresponder that you can set up. But a couple sections above that is where your signature is. And it will likely look like this, where it says no signatures set up. We're going to create new. Label it. And now we're going to insert image and use that download from IMGUR that we just made. I'm gonna drag and drop it into upload. And then you should be able to select whether you want original size, large, medium, or small. And then this also is a step that a lot of people miss when you're setting your signature defaults after you've done this. So for new emails, you want to select the signature you want to use. And same thing for replies and forwards. A lot of people will set this up, but not change their defaults. So the default will still be no signature. And then we'll be very confused. So you'll want to make sure to save that as well. And now when you compose a new email, your signature will be there. And if you hosted it on an image hosting site, it should also be there if you create a new email on your phone. All right. So now that we're done with this design, I'm going to hit done, and that's going to take us back to our main dashboard in designs, where our new design is on our dashboard right here. But now we're going to go in and create a social post design. And I'll show you guys how to add that to a campaign as well. A lot of the editing is going to be similar. So we're going to create design, again, sticking with social, hitting next. That's a great question. Yes, we are recording this. We try to get recordings uploaded to our YouTube channel by the end of the day when they're recorded, but it just depends on processing time. If you don't want to wait for that, you can always check out our previous month's recording with very similar information. And you can always reach out to our support team to ask for that link if you don't want to go find it. Because we were just in designs, it is defaulting to where we just were. But for this one, we're going to advertise a listing. So there are also size categories up at the top of each folder. So social wide, if you click on that, you'll see the size, and it will tell you here which format or which platforms, excuse me, these formats are designed for. So if you're posting to Twitter or creating Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads, that's what this is designed for. Social Square, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, or just regular LinkedIn posts rather than ads. They're designed for that. Or a story on Instagram or Facebook. So you'll see they all have different sizes. Even though we selected social, I'm not sure why print sizes are available. So just watch out for that. If you create a flyer that's designed for print material, but then go try to post it on social media, the size is going to be all wonky and will likely just cut a square out of the middle of it and not give the full image of what you're looking for. So we're going to stick to the social square category. And whatever one you want to use, we just select. Again, wait for this to load. I tend to be click happy and then everything starts freezing. Okay. So here, again, selecting the logo, we want to replace. And this is where the different color schemes or whether or not there's a background can come in handy. You can control how that looks. So no background, still white lettering. You can do that. Oops. Replace. You can add a pop of red in there if you want, or you can have the white backgrounded logo. Now for the photo, obviously, if you're creating one specific for a listing, you don't want to use the stock photos. You can always upload an image if you have the photo saved, especially if it was your listing and you still have those. But you also have the option here on KWLS to pull the listing photos. So here, we're looking for a specific listing, and I'm going to recommend the MLS number for the listing you're looking for. It's more precise than using a listing address, because if you use an address, the system is likely going to want to search for any variation of that property address. So you'll have a lot more like crossover of different areas. So once you find your listing, we're going to select. And now, because we're selecting a photo, it looks like there's a border. So selecting our photo, replace. Again, wait for that to finish loading. And then I'm going to try to reposition this. Looks like we're going to cut off. We're going to pretend like the photo for this listing lines up. You can also always select a different image if you want. So you can also come in here if you wanted to add some of the details. and just add that text here. We have the MLS remarks, which if the property just sold may not come in handy, but if you can finagle it to list what you want. All right, the other piece that I wanted to show you guys with this option, since we're doing a social post, you can actually add animation so it becomes like a little mini video. These normally actually tell you what they do. Oh no, just kidding. This is for a specific piece. So if you wanted to just add animation to a specific piece, this looks better, then you select what you want, and then it does that for you. Or you can do the entire page. You can control how long it takes for the piece to rotate in, or whichever one you choose. There's lots of options. Again, a lot of the editing in regards to the image is going to be the same as how we edited the email signature. So I don't want to go into too much detail on how you can do that. But then I always recommend downloading your PNG, especially if you keep like a folder on a property specific, like if you're the listing agent or whatever, like you can keep all marketing in a folder. You don't have to. That's just something that I see. And when you hit done, now you'll see the image that we used. So now I'm going to show you guys how to add it to your social post campaign section. If you don't already, you'll want to go into your settings in Command and connect whichever account you want to use. So post scheduling, there's also ads manager. Those are totally, this is a different section now. So you'll follow that if you're creating an ad, but we have additional classes on paid ads. But this is where you can connect your post scheduling. You'll just connect and follow the steps. Same thing for Instagram or Twitter. You'll do that here, connect account, and just follow the steps for connecting it. And once that's set up, you'll go into campaigns. And then social post. This is your dashboard for social posts. So you have a calendar here of any of your previous or upcoming schedules. We have a list here as well. Going to create campaign and social post. Here you'll be able to select the account that you're wanting to post to based on what you have connected. You'll have your preview here of what it looks like. And if you have multiple accounts, you can switch between the view of that preview. Type whatever you want it to say. And then we're going to add media. And you have the option here to browse files, which would be if you downloaded it, file on your computer. Or here you can browse designs. So this will link to your designs and will only pull your social designs. So again, if you created something that was intended for print, it's not going to show up here for connecting. We do have a tip video on our YouTube channel that will help if you wanted to like take that flyer that you made, turn it into a social image that's in your designs library, and then use that. We do have a tip video that walks you through how to do that. We can also help with that, again, if you email our support team. But I'd just like to point that out that if you're trying to create a social post, only your social templates will appear in this option. And then it gives you here the option to crop if you need. Except our image isn't there, which I am just now connecting. So we're going to pretend like that isn't happening and that the house image is here, just so that I can show you guys. And then our design doesn't have the ownership statement. It does have our DBA logo already, so we don't have to add that manually. Notice it might be hard to see, but it added those in the bottom corners here. But we already have that in our design, so we can take that one off. And then our next section here is either schedule or publish immediately. It does give you tips here on when the best time to schedule is. So you can schedule for a specific date, specific time. You can also type in all of this. And schedule post. One last preview. And schedule. And now when we look at our month, we'll see that we have a post here scheduled for this day and this time, going to our Facebook platform, and your preview here. Once this is actually posted, you'll also be able to see stats here on how many people liked, commented, or shared it. And just because it's not actually relevant, I'm going to delete that before I forget. If you schedule something and accidentally delete it, your design will still be in designs. So you'll just have to come in here and create the campaign again. The one thing that I like to remind people, if you say publish immediately, that will start the process of this being posted. However, we've seen that it can actually take 24 to 48 hours. So just keep that in mind, that it does have to go through processing on the command end of the system, as well as the platforms you're posting to. It can be, I don't want to say immediate, but it can be within a few minutes. We've seen it happen, but it could also be delayed just because of processing times, and we don't know what the difference is. But again, keep that in mind. We get that question often. And you can also save something as a draft and come back to it later. All right, I know I went through that one pretty quickly. There was a question in the chat. Is there a way to organize or delete logos or stock images you accidentally uploaded to the wrong category? So if you are in, let's not do that. Go back. Create social next. So if you're in here creating your asset section and you accidentally uploaded something or you wanted it in a different order, you can delete it just using the 3 dots. We haven't necessarily, like, once that loads. Okay. Not sure what's happening. Just tried deleting it. But you'll want to either create folders if that's how you're wanting to do it. I'm really not sure why this is taking so long, but you should be able to delete the photo or anything you're doing that way and then upload it again and kind of finagle how it's organized that way. All right, guys, I know I went through those kind of not really quickly, but a lot of them were the same, so we didn't go into too much like detail about the second example. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming. I think I answered questions in the chat as we went. Again, I'll add the support email in the chat for you. So if you have any questions, our support team is happy to take a look at your system, see what may be happening, or help answer any questions that you have. And you can always check out any of our class recordings on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search Scott Leroy Marketing, you'll find our whole channel here. You'll see recent uploads. We have different playlists, quick tip videos. If you're looking for something specific, you can also search by topic. And you'll just want to look, keep that in mind. The time frame, like we have a lot of videos. So you'll want to be specific and watch a recent video just in case the system has updated, because Command is always being updated in different areas. So something that we recorded 2 years ago that we haven't been able to remove yet may not be relevant anymore. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you next time.